What's up, Deontay with Deontay's Reviews. So, we saw a skit recently in the Kountry Wayne universe of Bethany and his daughter. I forget her name. They're in the home and she's eating Chick-fil-A. Larry comes in, gets her something to drink. He's about to walk off. And then the daughter asks him a question, pretty much, why didn't Larry and her mom make it in their marriage? So Larry, to his credit, because we've seen Larry be petty, crazy, impulsive, and all the things, right? But one of the things that we see with Larry's character now is that he is a loving father and he cares for his daughter and he does love his family. Remember, I told y'all a couple of reaction videos ago when I talked about Larry and Bethany that I felt like they're trying to get us to like Bethany and Larry. And we see it all the time in the Kountry Wayne universe. When there's a nemesis or an op that comes in, an op is an enemy, for those who don't know that lingo or that ebonics. When the ops comes in the picture, we tend to initially not like the ops or the nemesis or the antagonist. After that, the situation that brought them into the skits dies down, then there's another backstory that begins to unfold that causes us, the viewers, to begin to now like the individual. Hence, what I mean by that. When D from the West Side came in, a lot of us didn't like D because he was up against Mike, punking Mike, and all these things. He was a gang member, all those things. But once the fight happened between D and Mike, and then we started to see his the background, where D comes from, his baby mama, his family, we began to like D because he started falling in love with Tamara. We saw he had his own spinoff story. The same thing with Mike. Some of us didn't really like Mike because it was Mike and Wayne fighting for Rolanda. We didn't like, Mike, some of us. But once Wayne went overseas to do that movie in Australia, we started to kind of see the backstory to Mike. He got a brother, Rafi. Blake was his daughter. And so we see the grandmother. And so a lot of us grew to love Mike, just like we grew to love D. Same thing with Ty. Remember when Ty came in with Brittany? A lot of us wasn't feeling Ty. But then once Ty came in, once that whole thing with him and Brittany began to kind of break down, we found out he had a family, he had sisters, and a lot of us, we grew a liking to Ty. The same with a lot of other characters. So I believe that now that Bethany and that court case with Chase is over with, now we're getting to see the backstory of Larry and Bethany. And I think over time, we're going to grow to like Bethany, probably more specific Larry, but Bethany is going to grow on a lot of us. Because now we see at first we saw Bethany in the workplace, we saw how she functioned. Now that that's over, we see Bethany at home, how she is as a mom, being married to a black man. And then we get to see a softer side of Larry. And so what I appreciate in the skits is, in this specific skit, was how even though Larry's ex is just a mess and ratchet and whatever, he did not trash his ex in front of his daughter. And that's a lesson that we all can learn from there for those of us who have to co-parent and things of that nature. Bethany is overhearing the conversation. I think Bethany's going to feel some kind of way about it, but some things in the Kountry Wayne universe are quite predictable. Some scenarios and some things are quite predictable. I think that there's going to come a time where Larry's ex is going to try him and she's going to want to try to get him to cross the line. What y'all think? Drop it in the comments. Do you think Larry and his ex are going to cross the line? And do you think the writers are trying to get us to like Bethany and Larry? Drop it in the comments. What y'all think?